look Los Angeles Lakers. They were in action last night against a shorthanded Pelican team. We have been waiting to give our thoughts fully on this new roster because LeBron James has not been in action with them. That changed last night, Richard.
Dude, we weren't waiting. We were waiting to give our thoughts on a Laker new team. That's what we've been waiting for all damn season long, and it was beautiful. It's amazing when you put, two of the top 10 players in this league, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, when you put talent around them, the game becomes easy. You see the lob. D'Angelo Russell, this is what I want to say about D'Angelo Russell. He was impressive last night. His passing, his efficiency. That's what they need from him. They don't need all-star D'Angelo Russell. They need efficient D'Angelo Russell, and he was amazing last night.
You can see him again pulling up from three there. He was enjoying himself last night. 21 points, 7 assists, and he wanted to let the Lakers fans know. Read his lips here. Like I never left, he said.
Hey.
Well, it was a little different the last time you were there. Let's be honest. Love you, D'Angelo. It was a little different.
A little bit different. Let's go to the fourth quarter here. The Lakers, they're up by 13 at this point. I mean, just beautiful. LeBron James looked like he was having fun.
When he just can cut off screen and then just score, that's beautiful basketball.
It was. Davis, he had a game-high 28 points. LeBron and Russell, they add 21 each. I mean, it was just, this was actually fun to watch from the Lakers.
There's joy, and that's my middle name, so there's a plug there as well.
Here we
You're
go.
our joy. Well, the Lakers, their new starting lineup, it looked like they've been playing together for a while, actually. They outscored the Pelicans by almost 35 points per 100 possessions when they shared the court in Wednesday's win. So let's hear from the new-look LA Lakers, starting with D'Angelo Russell.
It was fun, honestly. I just kept saying it to the guys.
It looked good tonight, so far.
Just having that much fun playing basketball is always a beautiful feeling.
We wanted to kind of see what it kind of looked like. And close to 48 minutes looked really good. We're going to continue to build off tonight, and I think our skill set all kind of fit each other. I feel really good about what we have brewing.
I mean, you can only imagine what the future looks like.
The Lakers, I mean, their new starting lineup, it looked pretty good. They actually they have some space now to be able to attack. Perk, a letter grade for them? What do you think?
Y'all ready for this?
No?
Oh, no.
A plus.
Ooh.
A plus. They were gelled down like edges last night. Gelled down like edges. And when you look at it, it was the camaraderie. When I see the bench, when I see the guys up off the bench, they cheering along. D'Angelo Russell showed he could play with LeBron. Braun showed he could play with Rui. And then they started Vanderbilt. What I saw with Vanderbilt and his energy being contagious, you know who it rubbed off on? Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, I haven't seen him play with that much passion. I haven't seen him play like he was playing like a dog, like a pit bull. It wasn't no pouting. His energy level was up. I give him an A+ for last night.
If he's playing like a pit bull, does that mean there's a noise that goes
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I love it so much. Perk, thank you. Richard, go ahead.
I give him a B, and this is why I give him a B. Look, this Pelicans team is missing their best player, right? So you don't really want to say, like, hey, they dominated the Pelicans. This was an important matchup for them, but it was a beautiful game to watch because the game can be simple, the game can be hard, however you make it. When they have that amount of talent, and they're not overloaded with talent. We've seen Bron in Miami. We've seen Bron with the earlier Lakers. We've seen Bron in Cleveland with a loaded amount of talent. But if you give him a good amount of talent, and that's what they have good pieces, they have shooting, they have a ton more depth than they had, but I don't want to disrespect the Pelicans. If you're missing your best player, you're missing an all-star starter in Zion Williamson, that definitely changed the game, but they did what they were supposed to do, and they hadn't been able to do that against many teams.
And right on brand, I'm right in the middle. I'm going to give them an A- because if you study for a test, you're a little worried because this is a huge market. What do you get? You're just like, oh, I'm happy with an A-. And 12 different Lakers players scored. Let me say that again. 12 different players scored. Their roster is deeper than I think we anticipated. They're playing more confident. And obviously, this is working. I think the expectations were high based on the circumstance. But right now, it looks like this young batch of players who led wire to wire, that's an impressive thing for them to really kick off with.
And you know what the number there was that stood out to me? 32 assists on 44 buckets. Like, they were moving the ball. We were sitting there watching it last night.
Yes.
And it was not the first game that you fell asleep, and then the second game you were like, all right, I'm actually
My Cavs fell asleep. Look, we were flying on the plane. So the Cavs, I looked up and it was 36.
And then you
32.
took a nap, and I woke you up when it got down to single digits.
It got 8. And then we watched the Laker game. And the thing that was amazing about the Lakers, again, the joy, the way the ball was moving. It was impressive. And look, my only issue now is if they would have had this 20 games ago, there would be no doubt.
Right.
If they would have had this 15 games ago, there would be no doubt. But the fact that they had zero room for error, and I don't care who you are, Lakers or not, they have zero room for error, and that's the only part that makes me a little cautious.
Well, you can see their path to the playoffs. It's not exactly an easy one. It is on your screen. That is exactly what they would need to do. Removing that interim title he's held throughout the season after stepping in for Ime Udoka. The 34-year-old Mazzulla, he was an assistant under Udoka last season. He now officially becomes the NBA's youngest head coach. The Celtics, they head into the All-Star break, remember, leading the Eastern Conference with a record of 42-17. So the Celtics, they're the fourth team over the last 50 years to have the best record in the league at the All-Star break with a rookie head coach, and the first since the Warriors did it in 2014-15. That was obviously with Steve Kerr. Let's go to our resident Celtic now. What is your reaction to this?
I don't want to sound like a hater. So
but you are.
I am at times. Let me start off by congratulating Coach Joe Mazzulla, right? Because I always want to see people do well, and congratulations on that. But I still thought it was too early for him to get that title, for him to get that extension. The Celtics are based on championships or bust. And I wanted to see first for him to show us what could he do in the playoff series. What could he do for us making adjustments when he got real? Not about the regular season. We know this team has enough star power and enough depth that they're going to win regular season games. So I just wanted him to be able to show what he's capable of doing, because anybody answer this. What happens if the Celtics lose in the first round? Like, let's not act like it can't happen. What happened if they don't make it to the conference finals after representing the East next year? Like, how are you going to judge that? How are you going to judge if Coach Eric Spoelstra or Doc Rivers coach circles around him? What's next after that?
Oh, that was hard.
Oh, don't worry. That's all right. You got everybody here knows what he's got coming back for him. Now, this is what I'm going to say. It's hard for me to sit up here and give a guy that won a championship with the Celtics a history lesson, all right? Jim O'Brien. Right, in 2001.
My first coach.
Your first coach. He took the took the Celtics to a conference finals. Then it was Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers won a championship. And then what happened after that? Then they got who? Who did they get? Brad Stevens. Took them to multiple conference finals. Then who did they get? Ime Udoka. Took them to a finals. And now they have a great – my point is this. I am not going to question the Boston Celtics on their coaching hiring. If they believe that they have a guy that falls in the same line as Jim O'Brien, Doc Rivers, Brad Stevens, I'm not going to question them. Good for them. He's done an outstanding job with a rookie team and having to deal with some outside distractions. So, look – if the Boston Celtics say this man knows what he's doing, then I'm going to sit back and say, hey, look, over the last 20 years, they've proven that they know coaching and they know what they're doing. But it's okay. And we can go to class after this.
And the number one thing when you come to professional sports is all about being consistent and being professional. This guy has been consistent, professional. He's had their ear. They've performed at a very high level. So why not, Perk? Why not?
But here's the thing, being up in Boston, Perk, Joe Mazzulla, he has the respect of that locker room. They could not speak more highly of him, and he has their ear.
Yep.
And their record right now, there's no reason for us to believe that the Boston Celtics, other than, as we've talked about extensively on this show, that anybody really stands in their way on a path back other than maybe the Milwaukee Bucks, and we kind of hope that the 76ers can elevate their game to be in that conversation.
The Cavs is okay. They got
Did you watch the game last night?
But I love the Cavs. It happens.
Don't spill your coffee.
But let me say this, okay? When you come and y'all come at me talking about the coaches and all this and Coach Mazzulla, like, again, I'm not sitting up here hating on the man saying that he's not carrying them for his regular season wins, but they're not built on that. They're not built on that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll put a pin in it for now because I have a feeling we're going to be talking about the Boston Celtics.
I got a feeling we're going to circle back.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.